Good morning, very good Harriet from Ministry of Economy.
Good morning, sir. My name is Vitali Chileshe from Zema.
Good morning, sir. Mrs. Chamba from DIY Chambishi.
Good morning, Honorable. Morning, please. Co-chair, Simanza Crispin, Regional Manager Zema.
Morning, Honorable Minister. Morning, Co-chair, Christopher Karama, Acting Director, Licensing and Compliance at Zema.
Good morning, Honorable Minister. Yes, my name is Lovejoy Malambo. I'm the chairperson of Zema.
Good morning, Honorable Minister. Good morning, our hosts. My name is David Chilomba, Permanent Secretary for the Ministry of Green Economy and Environment. Over to you, Honorable Minister.
Thank you. Please, first of all, I wish to recognize the presence of the chairperson, Metro Zambia Limited, the Chief Executive Officer, and your team, the Permanent Secretary, Minister of Green Economy and Environment, and officials from the ministry, the board chairperson for Zema, the regional manager Zema, and all officials from Zema, but also our colleagues from the press and the other senior government officials in our midst. Good morning.
Good morning.
First of all, our purpose for being here is, as you all know, we had an accident here, which the whole country is paying attention to, and as a ministry mandated to look at the issues around environmental protection. We have been on the ground, represented by the Zambia Environmental Management Agency and the other government wings. But this morning, we decided that we come and take stock of the interventions that have been put in place by different players, including the water utility companies. As you know, that this accident has affected different components. We are aware that the water supply has been affected because of the contamination which happened to the water, which affected the water bodies. We are also aware that the fisheries sector has been affected because we've lost some amount of fish in the water bodies, but also just the environment in general, contamination to the soil. So as a ministry in charge of environment and the protection of the environment, we are here to take stock of the various interventions that have been put in place, but also to appreciate the magnitude of this disaster, which has regrettably occurred and affected many sectors, and in a way, the way of life of our people in the various districts. So this is why we are here. I want to register my appreciation to the Water Resources Management under the Ministry of Water Development and the Zambia Environmental Management Agency for having been proactive from the day that we received the news of this disaster to ensure that you are on the ground. You've been on the ground day and night so that this situation is brought under control. And true to your interventions, I'm aware that the dosing of lime, which has been done in conjunction with Sinometals and other players, government agencies, we are seeing some positive results in terms of water being, the acid being neutralized. We have been following the readings, the pH levels in the water, which are significantly improved. But we're going to talk more about these issues once we get on the ground to see where the accident happened and also the extent of the damage on the ground in terms of pollution, but also to appreciate all the mobilization that has been put in place, in particular the water supply. I take note that the provincial administration, under the leadership of Honorable Matambo, who should have been with us here, but he has had to rush to Lusaka for another meeting this morning. We have had a detailed brief this morning in terms of the water supply interventions that have been put in place. Very, very important, because the water utility companies had to shut down, and I must commend Nkana Water for having taken measures very, very quickly before the polluted water got to the abstraction point. They were able to shut down. So there was no transmission of contaminated water on the network. I think I must commend them for having been very vigilant and promptly acted. So I commend the provincial administration and all the stakeholders for having mobilized water bowsers to a tune of about 18 water bowsers which have been going around to supply water. Without this kind of intervention, really the water supply to the communities would have really, brought about serious challenges at a time when we are battling to control the cholera, outbreak, which has affected some towns. You are aware that Nakonde, Kasumbalesa, they are struggling with cholera, and if we didn't move very quickly with these interventions, our worry was that we were going to also experience some cholera, situation in some of these districts. So with that said, I'll speak more after we get on the ground. I'll be happy to be informed in details as we go on the ground, in addition to what I've been briefed by the provincial administration in terms of what we'll put in place. But I'll talk about the extent of the damage and the extent of the effects on the ground after we visit the spot, the tailing dams and the affected areas. So I want us to spend more time on the ground, but thank you very much for receiving us here. But just to also place on record that this is something that is extremely serious, and as government, we really regret this accident. And I want to send a message through Sinometals to other mining companies that we must take issues of environmental protection very, very seriously. I understand that accident can happen, but also accident can be prevented. The damage that this accident has caused is so severe and has long-term consequences. So I want to say that we must always ensure that we adhere to the measures that are prescribed by Zambia Environmental Management Agency, but also the Mines Safety Department. It is very, very important. So I hope that all of us are learning lessons through this accident, and just beyond the Sinometals to other mining companies, other investors, other developers, that we must do everything possible to ensure that we avoid such occurrences, because they impact the lives of the people very, very badly. If you look at the fields that have been damaged, with some of which we are going to see, We are at a point when we are coming from a drought situation and our people were extremely devastated by the drought. And this year we were hoping that everybody has been hoping that they will harvest something, and to lose the crop, the money, to lose the crop, and the environment being polluted in such a huge magnitude is something that government is extremely concerned about. And I hope that we work together to ensure that we lessen, we make the burden of the people that have been affected by this bit better. With that said, I will pass on to the CEO and the chairperson of sign-on letters, maybe to say one or two things before we go on site. Thank you very much.
尊敬的环保部部长麦克李宝山先生及政府各位官员、女士们、先生们，大家下午好。
Honorable Minister of Green Economy and Environment, Mr. Michael Mokosha, and the Permanent Secretary, Mr. Chimba, and the Chairperson of Zima, Board of Zima, Mr. Malambo, and all the government officials, ladies and gentlemen, together with the media, good morning everyone.
欢迎大家来到石化公司，
Welcome to San Martin.
感谢大家对石化公司及此次事故的关注和关心。
Thank you for all your attentions and concerns towards the company and this accident.
事故发生后，公司立即采取积极有效措施，快速控制住事故的扩大，有效减少了事故对周边环境的影响，并立即把事故按程序向相关部门报告。在各方的大力支持下，尤其是在环保局各位官员和专家的指导下，事故处置已经取得了积极进展。基特卫从23日晚上已经开始逐步恢复供水。
After the accident occurred, the company immediately took active and effective measures to quickly control the spread of this accident, and also effectively reducing the impact of the accident on the surrounding area and the environment, and also immediately reported to the situation to the relevant departments such as the MSD, Zima, and WOMA according to the procedures, with strong support from all the government parties, especially under the guidance of officials and experts from Zima. Positive progress has been made in this accident restores, and also the water supply in Kitwe has been gradually restored on the evening of 23rd February from the news notice from Ghana Water and Sanitizer Limited.
部长先生，我代表公司向赞比亚总统阿坎德西奇莱马先生和全体公民，向受到此次事故影响的社区和居民们致以诚挚的歉意。
Honorable Minister and the officials, on behalf of the company, I would like to express our sincere apologies and regrets to your excellent President of Zambia, Mr. Hakainde Hichilema, and all the citizens, as well as the communities and the residents affected by this accident.
下一步，公司将继续以积极的态度应对此次事故，竭尽全力，尽快恢复受影响的环境，并对受到本次事故影响的各方做出合理的评估和处置。
Honorable Minister, next, the company will continue to respond positively to this accident and do our utmost to restore the affected environment as soon as possible, and also make reasonable assessments and restores of all parties affected by this accident.
现在，请允许我授权总经理助理马林先生向大家介绍有关情况。
Honorable Minister and officials, now please allow me to authorize Mr. Martin Amukusana, the Assistant CEO, to introduce the relevant situations until now. Thanks everyone.
Thank you so much, Mr. Jack. Honorable Minister, PS, the board chair, ladies and gentlemen, allow me to run you through the events from the 18th today. Honorable Minister, this incident happened on the This incident happened on the 18th of February, around 13 hours, and it occurred in our tailings storage facility, which is named TD15. Yes, so TD15, Honorable Minister, is a facility where we store in-process solution. This solution contains some acid as well as some appreciable amount of copper in dissolved form. So ideally, TD15 is supposed to hold these tails for some time, after which, when there's some separation between the solids and the water, the water is supposed to be pumped back into the process. So what happened on that particular day is that the tails in compartment number F of TD15 escaped into the next compartment, which is E, following the collapse of the wall in between, the portion of the wall. The wall, or rather the tailings dump, this tailings pond, is made in such a way that it is lined with the high density polyethylene material, HDP, to allow seepage of this acidic solution into the ground and also into the walls that separate the ponds. What we suspect could have happened is that there could have been an opening which could have been caused by intruders cutting a portion of the HDP, which eventually allowed seepage of this acidic solution into the wall of the tailing dam, thereby causing this solution to eat or leach the soil, causing it to become weak and then eventually collapse. So when this happened, we were immediately notified because we got a dedicated crew whose job is to monitor the integrity of the tailings dam. Yes, and immediately we mobilized the team to stop the escape of the tailings dam, of the tailings into the environment by closing or rather rebuilding the collapsed wall. This activity took us up to about midnight, and at the same time we mobilized teams who we put at strategic positions to introduce light to the flowing tailings, so that as they were flowing into our pollution control dam TD6, they could be reacting with the lime and thereby raising the pH, so that we reduce on the impact. At the same time, Honorable Minister, we informed all stakeholders, the regulatory agencies, Ghana Water, and other concerned government agencies such as the Office of the President, Office of the District Commissioner in both Kitu and Kalushi, and others. We made sure everybody was aware. We also informed the neighboring mines for information and also for support. Yes, sir. So our efforts to neutralize the material that managed to escape through our TD6 due to its compromised state now, because apparently the last 2 years there's been some community members who have been mining copper from there. So some appreciable volume of the tails managed to escape through the wetlands and then into the drainage that takes to the Mwambashi River. Yes, so as at Friday, the 22nd, we had managed to normalize the pH and restore the quality of water up to the curfew. And as a result of that, Nkana Water was able to resume operation of supplying water to the community. Immediately this happened, the Honorable Minister, we also informed the communities that are dependent on the Mwambashi River and other small water bodies not to access and consume the water. Yes, and we immediately provided bulk water and clean drinking water to the affected communities. Yes, besides that, we also provided some foodstuffs because we were aware that some communities were actually getting their daily foods from their gardens and fields. So we did provide some foodstuffs and also some money in form of cash to allow them to access essentials. Honorable Minister, from the date this happened, we have collaborated with Nkana Water by assisting them with diesel and also some water bowsers to be able to supply water to the areas, I mean to the entire Kitwe community that was affected by the shutdown of both the water treatment plants. To date, we are still providing material and the other forms of support. We are at the moment working with the Nkana Water to ensure that the mechanical breakdowns that could have been caused by these incidents are attended. Then our interventions, Honorable Minister, have been extended to outside Kitwe. As I am speaking to you now, we have got a team that is being led by one of our general managers in Mpongwe to work with the Department of Agriculture, Fisheries, and the Office of the District Commissioner to mitigate the situation. It is our hope that this incident does not go beyond the copperbelt province, because we want to limit the numbers of the people and the environment in general that is being affected. Honorable Minister, in order to restore the environment and also to restore people's livelihoods, we have engaged the Office of the District Agricultural Coordinator here in Karurushi, who is collaborating with the Provincial Agricultural Coordinator and the District Agricultural Coordinators in the line districts, Kitwe, Luansha, Masaita, and Mpongwe, to assess and evaluate the damage for restoration purposes. Once they are done with their study, they will present a report to us with the recommendation for environmental restoration and also with the evaluation of the damages that will have been suffered by the individual households. The purpose of this exercise, Honorable Minister, is to restore people's livelihoods. As a company, Honorable Minister, we we have taken full responsibility of these incidents, and we are supporting all the stakeholders, including government, mine safety department, ZIMA, WOMA, by ensuring that they've got adequate resources to be able to help in the mitigation of these incidents. Honorable Minister, I would want to take the opportunity of this, I will take advantage of this opportunity to assure you and your team that as a company, we are a very responsible management team that pays a lot of attention to environmental protection by way of policy and also by way of resource provision. We would want to assure you that what happened could be attributed to so many things. And because of that, we have engaged a third party who was very competent to conduct a thorough investigation on circumstances that could have led to this rupture. The whole idea, Honorable Minister, is to be able to put in measures that are going to ensure that we do not suffer a recurrence of similar incidences. Our other commitment, Honorable Minister, is we want to use this regrettable situation as an opportunity to learn, like you mentioned, also as an opportunity for improvement. We are also in collaboration with the other mining houses that have similar operations. We are sharing information with them, and once this investigation, in which we've invested a lot of resources, is done, we are going to share that report with other mining houses with similar operations, the statutory and regulatory bodies, including the Engineering Institute of Zambia, who we have invited on board to also come and look at it and give their own independent and qualified opinion. So in a nutshell, Honorable Minister, this is what happened. I think it will be more helpful now if we could get you to the site so that you could appreciate what exactly happened. Thank you so much.
Yeah, so like we said earlier, we want to spend more time on site, on the ground, after which we'll come back here and chat a bit more. Yeah, so thank you very much for that brief. May we proceed. Yes, please.